We now return to our youth forum, the new Bandidos, on DZRJ 810 AM.
Good morning, everyone, and you're tuned into the new Bandido show here on DZRJ 810 AM, the voice of Philippines, with my partner.
Haji.
Haji.
Javier Padilla.
Thank you for making Javi, you're so funny. Kanina ka pa off the air. Why don't you tell our listeners about, the hair, the salon.
We were just telling people because our students here from PUP have very stylish hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, like pseudo mohawks, comb overs, color green.
Then
So I was telling
suddenly-
Pia, it's time for us to go to the salon, have a makeover.
It's very odd that you notice those things, those very little things that usually men don't notice, di ba?
Yeah, hindi namin tinapos. Ganda ng hairstyle mo to la.
But how do they keep it up, no? Good or bad weather? Parang
That's
maintained.
right.
Diba?
Actually, we're using
Full of
cement these
wax.
days. Hair cement. Pero we're using wax actually
Yeah,
na
wax.
styling wax.
Okay.
I don't have that.
Yeah, we have to get updated on our ligo-ligo lang tayo. Baka tawas ka pa.
Brush lang. Then
Tawas.
wherever the wind brings it, yun yung style mo.
Okay, we want to welcome Albert also.
Good morning
Albert,
po.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, okay. As we before we went on the break, we just spoke to Attorney Lorna Capunan.
I think that's good that she has a platform very specific. Hope nga yung what did she say? Honest government, opportunity for all, peace, prosperity, productivity, education, and environment. I think it's good that so far the people we've spoken to running for senator have clear platforms.
Oo nga eh. And they're not afraid, no, to tell us,
Yeah.
so ma'am, what are you gonna do? Diba? Right away, itong gagawin ko, right?
Well, if you're running, those are your weapons in campaigning. If you want people to vote you have to, kumbaga, lay down what you're gonna offer them whenever if they vote for you. So you really have to make good platforms, and soon if you get elected, you have to do them because syempre.
You're right. So far, the people that we've spoken to are all share one thing, which is involvement of the youth. And the percentage of the youth voters is quite big, no?
20 million.
20 million. So, umaasa itong mga kandidato na to sa 20 million
That's right.
voters.
I like also what she said na kung gusto mo ng pagbabago, tumaya sa bago.
Oo.
Which is true because
That's
I
really
mean, if
nice.
you're going to vote the same people, then you'll get the same result.
Exactly.
And it's very
Totoo
catchy.
yun.
If gusto mo ng pagbabago, iboto mo yung bago. Well, actually, the amount of youth in the voters, the amount of youth voters are not, kumbaga, it's 20 million. Pero if you would look at the population of the Philippines, it is really consist of the youth. Kumbaga, in economics, you can classify Philippines as a young generation. Kumbaga, young, ang tawag
We
doon?
have very young population.
May may age group yun in which you can classify different countries into yung mas marami sa kanila. And considering na marami tayong youth, we should have a lot of manpower. And at the same, kumbaga, getting those youth involved can really change the nation. Kumbaga, if you can just let them voice themselves out or get involved, get employed, get the proper job, diba? If you get to employ them, you can really see the potential. If the government could just see the potential in which lies in the youth of the Philippines, they could really change.
Yeah,
Kumbaga,
we're a very young country.
Yeah.
Booming population, very young country as compared to maybe some of our neighbors na
China,
aging
China.
population.
They're old. Kumbaga, they're considered as old already.
So it's good if the candidates running have a plan, a platform for the young people.
Yeah.
And in addition to what Science said, so I think the politician, kailangan alam nila kung paano i-maximize kung ano yung mga resources natin, 'di ba? Like what Science said also na we have very young population, we have a lot of manpower, unlike compared to other first world countries, yung mga mauunlad talaga na bansa, hindi naman ganun nakabata yung mga populasyon nila eh. 'Di ba? Patanda na ng patanda. So it means tayo na yung or yung mga mas batang populasyon na bansa gaya ng Pilipinas, tayo na yung mga next
Yeah.
na sana na umuunlad. Ang kailangan lang talaga kasi may enough na tayong manpower. Ang kailangan lang talaga natin yung magli-lead sa atin kung kung paano talaga umunlad.
But the young people is a great resource
Yes.
for the country.
Okay, we have Mark Heron.
Okay.
Mark, good morning.
sir.
Good morning, Harry.
Morning, sir.
I think you just woke up.
And good morning, PUP group.
Good morning
Yes,
po.
sir.
Wala, no classes tayo. Yoo-hoo! And great day to talk about the things, ano. Now, tip lang on the first, ngayon sabi na sila kung sino yung mga tatakbo, and officially nagsabi na sila. Although may mga may mga hindi tayo sigurado kung lulusot sa mga kaso. Anyway, just look on yung kanilang capabilities and listen mabuti dun sa what is only doable, kasi these people, a lot of these candidates have been in the past government already and have been politicians already. Well, I don't care about dun sa mga ibang alien tsaka yung mga ibang pero concentrate on
Intergalactic ambassadors.
concentrate on these people na they have their numbers. Talagang numbers make the difference now eh. Like, di ba, sa Supreme Court, they have a greater number panaling kaso sa Congress, ganun. But Pia and Javi, during our times in the previous generations, we too were di ba, malalakas din tayo magsalita. We have our own, and quite may intelligence din naman tayo. But what I want to ask these people, or maybe we'll give them tips kung tip ngang makakonsidering sa atin, is what their advantages are now, this generation. One is social media. Ay,
Yeah.
sorry dapat kayo pala muna tanungin ko. So what do you think this generation has na the previous generations did not have and would be advantageous to you now? Kasi pares naman dapat yun ganun, di ba?
Yeah.
So anybody?
I think Sir Mark, what we have right now, the most powerful thing that we have right now would be connection.
Yeah.
Lalo na considering internet, social media, and also this kinds of multimedia media that is available to the youth. I think our advantage is we can disseminate information and influence in a second,
Yes.
in which we can inform the public, in which we can voice out our opinions through social media and other mediums of media in a very quick way na makaka-influence sa ibang tao, which is, I think, is very important in terms of information. And also internet being mentioned, napaka-accessible na information sa amin, in which we could learn new things that we haven't learned yet through internet, like YouTube, Google. Ako, actually, I've learned a lot of things just by watching videos, reading articles, and making research, which is, I think, is very powerful.
Oo, ang galing.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Zain and Sir Mark. I mean, now the access to information is instant. Eh.
Yeah.
Before, you actually had to go to the library,
Yeah.
look through the
Yeah.
card catalog,
Yeah.
find the book, and then get paper cuts. Ngayon, people hardly go to the library. They just go online.
I was gonna say the same thing. It's really the power of accessibility. How in our time we used to have to line up, with a red telephone and put in how many
Yeah.
coins inside just to call and say
Wait,
walang
hold on.
pasok.
What red telephone? I've never experienced that.
Diba? The pay phone where you have to put 2 pesos and you're lucky if if your home number is not busy, diba? Not off the hook.
And di ba dati parang kailangan pa namin muna pumasok before malaman na suspended na pa yung klase.
Exactly.
And like ngayon na pinopost na lang through social media na walang pasok.
Ngayon talaga mabilis na lahat, pati kape mabilis.
Diba? And the youth, probably I'm just looking kasi yung mistakes we had before na kung bakit paulit-ulit itong mga ganito, and the advantages the youth have now as very powerful. I mean, doon sa internet no, pati yung Playboy magazine apektuhan na eh.
Oo
Ano ba
nga.
yung Playboy magazine? Ano, ang alam ko kasi Sports Illustrated lang alam ko eh. Sabi,
I don't know anything about that.
Me too.
di ba?
I'm surrounded by men.
Diba? PN Heavy, youth before had to disseminate very slowly para sa mga ibang youth. They still had to rally and to diba, make chismis pa or make a difference by kung ano-anong gagawin mo para lang mapansin ka, and matalino rin naman tayo nun. I mean,
Oo nga, and considering like nag-EDSA pa tayo noon, milyones yata yun dumadong, di ba?
And this youth, ang gusto ko lang sana, they should learn from the mistakes that we had in the past. Siguro kung bakit pabalik-balik, kasi minsan naririnig ko the others were saying na we had good senators and we had good dun sa na speakers and everything. Bakit nangyari? Somewhere along the way nawala. So this youth, kayo now, ang laki nung inyong advantages. What bukod dun, what else do you think do you have now na wala kami in the past, or Pia and Javi, what do they have now that we used to not have?
Ako na po sasagot nung
Go.
yung iba.
May iniisip ako, nakalimutan.
Bukod po dun sa internet, I think one of our advantage is the education. Kasi before then, iilan lang or not so many po yung may access sa education. Hindi ano bang tawag dito? Hindi what do you call this? Hindi pina-prioritize nung karamihan noon ang edukasyon. Samantalang mo ngayon talagang tinututukan ng government ang education, kasi noon ang most of the focus of the government is more on of the rehabilitation, because po dun sa mga, 'di ba, sunod-sunod po yung mga nangyaring kaguluhan, sunod-sunod yung mga negatives na nangyayari. So imbes na mag-focus sa education, mas na-focus sa rehabilitation yung mga projects po. So unlike ngayon that we are I think well-established country na. So I think most of the projects of our government are now focusing on education.
And especially with the Unifast bill.
Yeah.
Congressman
Oo.
Romeo.
Very
diba?
excited regarding
Yeah.
that.
And we just
I-
had him last Friday.
And I really love our senatorial guest. Maybe we should come up with endorsements. Na bawal ba yun? Bawal ba yun?
Pwede din. One thing that's just crossing my mind, Mark, is, I can't get it out of my head because I tend to agree with it. It's what Attorney Lorna Kapunan said, really. It's this culture, as we may call it, of indifference. Well, I was talking to her also about the culture of impunity, and she said, it's not only that, it's also it leads to indifference. And right now, what's nice is that the youth are beginning to see heck, we really don't want the same thing over and over, because they are at this day and age already feeling the burdens of it at a very young age,
correct.
maybe compared to us. I'd like to think that in my time I had it better. I wasn't really burdened with all these things, but now at like 17, 18, 19, these teenagers are feeling the burdens of let's say leaders or institutions of failure, right?
That's right.
And it's affecting them, and they're realizing that, hey, if this moves forward, by the time we're 25 or 30, what are we going to do?
Yes, yun nga yung naisip ko rin last few days, na sabi ko, well, during the past generations naman, we too were yung tapang namin yung intelligence, like we were doing everything that we can. We were on the top of our youth then, and we're fighting na okay na to, laban tayo dito, hindi natin kailangan to. And Pero sabi ko, bakit kaya nagkakaganon? And I reflected on what the youth have today. At ang laki ng diferensya with the power of the, with the, sa kanila kasi, talagang one click and they'll make a difference. They'll give their options. Hindi na sila natatakot. You know, during our time then, parang, sige, laban, kailangan lumaban ka, lumabas ka, join groups, join but
That's
but
right.
now just the simple click and you know you should also see always na yung numbers makes really the big difference palagi the numbers make the big difference. I mean, yun lang sa nagrally dun sa ating nagtapol ng government. There were just a few, not even the whole Philippines yun, pero with numbers, yung iba natatamemi na dun. You know, with the youth now, you just have to fight, and Pia and Javi will assist you with this.
Nah.
They are very good. They are
We'll
very
fix our
good.
hair first, Mark.
You have to you know, both of them should talk a lot too, so that you can hear them out. So kasi they have a very good view of what was then in the past and
Yeah.
what big chances you have in the future to change what's gonna be your
That's right.
at least years
I have
from
a
now.
question for you, Mark.
Yun.
Do you-
Iniiwasan ko kaya.
Yeah, but you know, I'll have to like ask it and give you 2 minutes because we're gonna go live in like FM. But I want to ask you because I did see a post by Paulo Coelho in my Twitter account because I follow him, and he made a, you know, he post a picture of Yoko Ono and John Lennon together, and he said, "I loved it in my generation where we were not politically correct." Do you think that in this day and age we're too politically correct?
What can I say about that? People.
You asked me to talk eh.
Yeah.
No, pero okay lang that I
I agree. People are too politically correct.
Yeah.
They're too afraid of the backlash they'll get from saying the wrong thing or saying something that's out of the box.
Yeah. Kasi 'di ba, Mark, you're saying like tayo lumalabas talaga tayo, 'di ba? We go rally talaga tayo. But now maybe the tendency is to be a little bit more afraid.
Oh, yung mga ganun because I mean siguro it goes with the times eh. Kasi
Yeah, you just say something negative or someone doesn't agree with you, you become a meme.
Yeah.
And then
yeah,
you get bashed online. It's you need to be brave nowadays.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's people now should be really well informed, like the youth we have today. Kasi alam mo, a lot of politicians will persuade you to think differently. Think differently. They will do, say, and hit on you where you're really weak.
Yeah.
Hit you where you're without unconsciously you'll not be aware of this, but when somebody tells you something, you have to consider everything and not only concentrate on what he's saying or she's saying, because there could be something behind it. And to be able to do that, I guess you have to really have your own stand on it and gather all what you can to make a better view, because alam mo, lahat sila has their own aim.
Yeah.
Na kung they're not good speakers, and you could see it readily, but for good speakers and those really talking on media and everything, nako, pag sinabi sa'yo, you'll be, oo nga no, ganun yun oo nga no, ganun ka na lang na ganun. You have to really be informed.
Thanks, Mark. We'll have to
Thank you,
say
Pete.
goodbye to you now, but stay tuned,
Thank
okay?
you,
We're
sir.
going live, simulcast FM.